morning. Thank you for joining us for episode 5 of Wake Up West Orange. We are now in the month of June. And Angie, I don't know if you noticed or not, but this morning Tim has been extra peppy. So
yeah, that is very true.
I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to see him so peppy.
That doesn't happen in general, I guess. I don't know why. Well, can I tell you why? Is
that okay? Yes.
So first of all, I have a friend of a friend of a friend that they own a company. It's based in Montgomery, Alabama. I found out about it through a magazine Kayla gets through Magnolia, Fixer Upper, Chip and JoJo. Y'all know who they are. So anyway, in their magazine, they had an ad for Alabama sweet tea, which most of you probably just now turned us off. I don't care. But it's just a company. It has nothing to do with the football team. But they sell their tea, so I ordered some, and it's delicious. That's part of it. That's that's one. And then I also for breakfast. Guess what I had for breakfast? Guess what I had for breakfast?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Sort of, but not peanut butter. As you all remember, my favorite is peanut butter. But now they have chocolate Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Chocolate Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'll bring some. We'll try it. You should get your own. All they had was a family-sized box, and I really didn't want to get that. I genuinely was like, that is too big. What if I don't like it? And Kayla was like, just try it. So we got it, and I ate like 4 bowls. So anyway.
All the sugar. That makes
coffee,
sense.
tea.
Yeah, there are other things I could share, but those
Chocolate
two are the biggies.
crunch.
But yeah. It's a good day. And I may get up and run around while we're doing this. I have no idea.
Well, after all that sugar and caffeine, I'll bet that
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Considering what we might be discussing, I don't even know if that's, we'll see.
Yeah.
So, how are y'all?
Doing pretty good. Not quite as caffeinated as you are.
Yeah, I know.
Doing all right.
I'm not going to finish this. That's probably... I should probably let that be.
Yeah. All right. Well, so today we as everybody knows, it's been challenging times for the world and for our nation and for families and individuals and for some people more than others. So what I thought we would do today, every year of our life, every season of our life has different personal problems and challenges. For the three of us, like all those who are ministers and who are involved in ministry, you also have that dynamic of taking upon yourself the problems of others in the church family. So we support people and we're there for them. So we're used to that. But what I thought would be good for us to do in this episode is to share just more on a personal level, nothing related to a church experience, though we've had those. But something on a personal level where we have experienced just a hard season, a difficult moment. So I know we don't oftentimes like to talk about, our problems, and especially things in the past. We like to say, okay, that was the past. But there's lessons we can learn, and there's testimonies we can share. So who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay.
So my first year of teaching, I was so excited to get going. I couldn't wait to get into the classroom. I had done all of my experiences with primary grades, kindergarten, first grade. My highest grade that I had been in at that point was 3rd grade. And the position was in 5th grade. And I was terrified. Because, those kids were as big as I was. Well, it's
maybe
true.
some big, right?
Right.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
And so it was a scary thing, but I thought, okay, you know what? I can do this. And I went in just as excited could be. And it wasn't anything like I had anticipated. I had one of those classes that was a tricky, challenging class. Kids with a lot of problems. Kids that had a lot of social, emotional needs that I wasn't equipped to help them with. And I thought, I'm a teacher. I'm supposed to have all of these answers. And over the course of the year, I just became more and more beat down. And it was a time where I really had this thought, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I really began to doubt myself. And, it was a challenge. That summer, I signed up to do summer school, and they put me with kindergarten for summer school. And that was that springboard to, no, this really is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I was able to go back the next year to a group of 5th graders weren't any less challenging social emotionally. They had their needs, but I had that reaffirming, just knowledge that no, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I think that was my hardest time as a teacher, was just, man, I don't know, is this really where I'm supposed to be, and can I do this?
That's interesting because you're so gifted and you seem so natural at what you do, but that those doubts were surfacing. And I think I wonder, for all teachers, the having to pivot to distance learning and all of that so fast due to the pandemic right now. I'm sure there's a lot of people, hey, I'm not sure how this is going to work or what we're going to do. So for all of our teachers, we just appreciate you so much for what you do. Mine's kind of similar to that, so I'll go second. That a time, again, we've all had different issues, and I don't know that this was the hardest time, but this was a hard and a new experience that I had where insecurities surfaced for me. So I had never been without a job. I mean, even I had a work ethic even as a teenager, having jobs and things I did when I was in college. I had 3 part-time jobs. And maybe that's why I didn't make straight A's like Jamie, but I can use that as an excuse. But anyway, I've always been used to working, and so we knew when we were moving down here that I didn't have anything lined up, and so I was putting in applications and trying things, and I already knew that even what it might be while I was trying to get stay in ministry, I'd already resolved. I don't know that I fully had, but hey, whatever God's will is, He may be taking me out of formal ministry. Yeah, I can help a church in some way, but when that's what you've known for 17 years, then just mentally dealing with that. So when we got here, we got settled. We were looking for a church home. You're meeting a few people in your neighborhood, but no close friends. Everyone's states away. And Jamie has her job, all these exciting things. We got the kids into their school program, and I was the only one with nothing. And you're putting in the application, and you're waiting to see. And so it was a time of uncertainty. It started to become a time of insecurity, and what is my purpose? What's next? Again, you trust God, and there's a plan. But when you're in that, and especially for me, it lingered for a few months. And so just waking up in the morning and putting your head on the pillow at night, I know there's people with that, dealing with that right now. And, I've been there. But the neat thing was and it's even neat how I got the job at Signature Healthcare, but as we know now, looking back, that was a temporary thing for me to be here and to get to work with you and to get to work with this church and the community and being a teaching minister. And, one of the things that it reassured to me through the whole thing, number one is, are we really comfortable praying, God, your will be done? Whatever you're going to take me to, whatever is next, and your timing in that. And so, and when you meet Jesus or when you're with Jesus, everything else becomes smaller. And so I can definitely say that through that, that I was stretched and I grew in ways that I had not before. And so I would just share that as hope for people today, as we're sharing just like everyone, average person in the pew, any Christian, we have those same moments and those similar struggles that we have. So, Tim, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had within our personal lives, Kayla and I, and then our marriage and just, extended family and everything, a lot of different things have happened as it does because that's life. Probably one of the ones that affected me the most and something that was a challenge and my father passed away. He had been sick with cancer a couple of different times, and eventually he could not make it, and he passed away about 5 months before Tucker was born. So, in the timing of that, we were busy needing to grieve, but we were busy excited that we had a child coming. And then, Dad did what he could do as a father, I think, to raise both my sister and I to be prepared for being adults and life. But, when someone like that you sort of thought you'd have around for advice and all those different things is just gone. So Tucker comes along, and we're excited. And we have other family. Both of Kayla's parents were still there. My mom was still alive. My sister and all those people were still there for us. But there's just something odd about those days when you think, oh, I should call my dad and ask, and that's not possible to do. So I went through, and still at times, honestly, do even today. Still wonder why. Why then? I don't know that it was full on anger, but it was definite questioning God's timing of how he allows things to happen in life or whatever. And I don't blame God. I don't think it was time for him to take my dad. I don't think of things that way. I believe that life, we are born, we are meant to eventually leave, and it's hardest on us that go. Dad went to the very place he was excited to be, so that part's comforting. But that for me has been one of the hardest things to not accept. I guess you don't really accept it, but to settle with knowing that you've got to go on. You still got to be who you're supposed to be, even when other people are no longer with you to help you. So
I think that's one of the toughest. I mean, you're anticipating your child and celebrating that with your family and with your dad, and to have that all intertwined, mixed bag of emotions. I didn't plan on this, but listening to you, that may have been the hardest time for Jamie and I. I didn't know that about you, by the way, Tim. I didn't know the timing of all that. Very same thing happened for us while Jamie was pregnant with Cullen, is when her dad had cancer, and we went through that, and he passed away before the birth of Cullen. So it's the exact same thing that she and we dealt with, and it is very difficult, and you love them so much, and you just you want them to be there, and they've always been there, and now they're not.
But what's so interesting to me about like faith and who we are as believers and followers is, and one of my favorite books is James. And we just actually went through that study with the teens and on our online stuff that we had. But it starts right off with the thing that, to me, I believe is for a lot of people, when they, maybe from the outside looking in at what people of faith seem to try to live by, it's very upside down. Because for some people, and maybe even believers, when things happen that don't go the way they anticipated, or it's very painful, or it's a struggle that they have to somehow find a way to have the strength to handle, what they want to do is be angry and be mad and blame God. And in reality, what we are called to do, and I believe should be moved to do because of our faith, is to say, I'm going to trust God that he's going to be with me through this. I don't blame him for it. And we're gonna figure this out together. And I think that's how James kind of starts off. I'm going to read a little bit. This is from chapter 1. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. And it says other things there, but that's probably the most upside down part is, okay, you're going to feel like everything has he's crashing down on you. So let's find some joy in that. And that sounds so bizarre to people, but I try to do that. Humor has helped me through pretty much every situation in my life. And I don't think joy just means laughter. I think joy means hope. Is that you can see beyond the circumstance to know, number one, it is going to be okay one day. And number two, all of this life nonsense that we have to sometimes deal with is going to get better.
I think a lot of times we talk about we're real people, we're a family. That's where your faith, I think, becomes the most real, is when you're hit with those moments. You know, you get that bad news. You know, your phone's blowing up, and you find out this loved one has that diagnosis or lost this job, or you know, and that's when you really truly recognize that the joy is deeper, and it is something that's genuine. And that doesn't mean we don't have bad days. It doesn't mean, you know, that we fake it. Like you were talking about, that grieving process that you go through. No, that was, I appreciate you, both of you, for sharing those examples. So how many years ago was that for you, Angie, with the...
Well, my first year was, I started off in a classroom that was actually the band room. And about a month in was when September 11th happened. And so it was quite a year of change and challenges. But, you know, that was the year that these seniors were in kindergarten. No, that was the year they were born. Yeah, they were born with the September 11th. So it's been a while.
So they were born with that, and now they've graduated with the pandemic.
Nice bookend.
Yes.
Yeah. History,
And there's the joy.
History in the making. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hopefully, too, you know, when we think about things like this, that we realize we're a part of God's story. And that God is faithful, and that these are opportunities for us to connect, reconnect, and lean on each other, and just hopefully community and relationships become stronger, more meaningful. You know, we see they're more relevant. I mean, one of the things I'm hoping from this, not just for our local church family here, but you know, it's been interesting, like our ministry group that we're on, that you know, we've been connecting on a weekly basis and kind of helping each other navigate this new landscape that we're on with the risks and the different scenarios. And it's made me appreciate that group more. We were used to meeting once a month.
Yeah.
And now it's those kinds of conversations and people we're able to connect with. And you know, God is at work in the midst of the negative. God is at work, and I think there's a stronger unity in the body of Christ. That more of us are realizing here's the things that truly matter. And one of the things I'm hoping is that not only that we emerge stronger, or maybe we just realize we were stronger than we were in the Lord, but in these moments of being vulnerable, and none of us like to be vulnerable and to have these weaknesses, but that those people that are searching for hope, and that they find hope, that they see that our hope is real, that what we have ourselves and at West Orange, that it's real, and that maybe things like Wake Up West Orange can help people as they to have a little bit more of a window into us. So I don't know how we end this. I know we're kind of nearing the end here, but that's my
I think that's a good ending.
thoughts.
Yeah. Right. Bye, guys.